Good morning. Past me is about ready to come up and tell you that we're going to make 2 wooden trash cans today. I don't say anything about part 1, but that's what it's going to be. This is going to be part 1. We got the cases, the legs. We've got it all designed, but we just ran out of time to get the job completed, so we're going to finish the job in 2 of 2 next week. But if you want to see how we got this far, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do next. Well, good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday 345, 7th year, 33rd week. Over the last year or so, we've made, I don't know, about 2 or 3 or 4 trash cans. Well, today we're going to make 2 more. One of them we're going to paint lime hunter green, and the other one we're going to leave it oak. And I think you'll get some takeaways. I'll check the videos out on the other trash cans, and we'll try to cover some things we haven't covered before. But we're not going to get any of that done. We're not going to get any covering done unless we do what? That's right. We need to knock off the chit chat and get to work. Kind of hurting for wood. I got that oak plywood and some oak plywood over there, and then I got this exterior plywood. I may make one of them, the one I paint, I may make out of this exterior plywood. Also hurting on the wood supply here too. I don't know what this is. I think this is poplar. Oh, this is oak. No, this is hard maple. This is poplar. Well, what we'll do is we'll kind of stretch this wood out and see if we can use some of it up. Sketch of what we're going to draw, what we're going to build. This has got a lid that lifts up, and you put the trash in that way. And it's got this little door that you can open up. We're going to put it on splayed angle legs. Let me take a few minutes and try to come up with a cut list. I got a cut list here. But just looking at it, I can see it's wrong. Okay, so I'm cutting the stock that's 19 and a half inches across. Now I need to cut out the backs and do a little cut list for the back. So I'll take one of those. I'll take an oak example and the exterior plywood and cut them to 30 inches. Okay, we got our backs rubbed out, got our stock done. Let's look at the next thing we're going to cut out. And I'll tell you why we're cutting them out. Next thing we're going to cut out is the bottom. It also is 19 and a half, but it's only 14 and a half inch deep. Now both of these panels require some milling. Got to cut out the handles on the back and put pocket holes in the sides of the back and pocket holes around 3 sides of the bottom. So let's go ahead and cut this out. This is the sanding station that we built 3 weeks ago. It's got a vacuum inside of it. And it's powered by this power strip here. And I've got this, I added this pole since then. This oak pole so I can drag it around. And the pole, the handle here, also holds up the cord so it's up off the ground. So how this thing works is I just hit this red button and then I have power to my vacuum in the box and whatever tools I have plugged in here. I have my sander plugged in now. What I'm sanding are these parts here. I'm actually not sanding the bottom very much, but that's the back. And I primarily need, on the inside here, I need to sand the top, which is going to be exposed up here. But these pieces are riddled with pocket holes and these emergency relief holes in the bottom in case the trash leaks. And this joint here is just a lap joint, butt joint, and I'm holding it together with brads, glue, and pocket holes. First thing I'm doing is putting down a bead of glue. This is the back. First thing I'm doing is clamping the two pieces together. Let me show you why I'm doing that. Almost all wood you get, especially plywood, has some kind of a bow or cup in it or something. And by clamping this joint together, I can draw these two pieces together, and then when I put my screws and glue in, I already put the glue in, put my screws and nails in, it'll hold take the bow out of it. Okay, so the theory is, I'll put this clamp on there. This joint will be happy again. I'm putting brads in. You know, they're 1.25 inch brads, primarily to keep the joint lined up when I put the pocket screws in. Because pocket screws kind of want to, make your wood walk away from the joint. This is going to be the one that's finished, with English chestnut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dowels in here. What I want to do is hold that joint together while I'm pounding, so it doesn't, so the wood didn't separate. Well, I got it, everything glued up. It'll just take a few minutes really for that glue to dry. But I want to make sure, I got it clamped up and stuff because I want to make sure the bow and the twist is out of any of it wasn't real bad, but I want to make sure that all that twist is out. Okay, next piece we have to cut out. Actually, we have to cut out 4 identical pieces. Will be the sides. And they'll be 28 by 16. Now, if you remember, these boards we cut were 19 and a half. Now I could just rip this whole board to 16, but I think I need part of this for the lid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to the 28 length first, and then cut to 16. Okay, this is what the door is going to look like. This cross hatch here, it's going to be filled in with wood at the bottom and pie safe metal on the top. And I'm showing you this because I'm fixing to show you something that doesn't look like that, and I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to get confused when you see this solid door here. This is just a piece of remnant that I've put in here so I could work on figure out what kind of hinges I'm going to use. And this is a piece of remnant here too. Here's the actual top I'm going to use here. But I've been prototyping a little bit, and so I just wanted to use some remnant. I'm going to use a piano hinge on the top up here, and it'll be designed where it can go all the way back. The door is one of those hidden hinge. There's no hinges here. Everything's hidden. Works like that. And the trash can comes out just like that. Here's the hinges we're going to use on the doors. There's a little learning curve there, but not much. You can buy these in a package, and there's actually instructions on how to install them. And the door will close. Have a nice flush edge here. But before we build the doors and the top and install them, we need to put these legs on here. We'll do that for both cases. One more quick thing, you'll notice that I have the trash can that goes with it. Now these trash cans are pretty standard. They're what's called a large kitchen bag. They're about 15 inches wide, 12 to 13 inches in the width, and they're 22 and a half inches tall. But I wanted to have one so I could check for any interference. Now I didn't want to have that pole in there. Actually, I had cleats in there at one time, but that didn't work because it was pretty square now, but without this bar in here, these sides are gonna want to flop back and forth, and that's no good. Well, here's what the legs look like. I went ahead and put them on this one. I'll show you how to make these in just a minute. Remember a few minutes ago we were looking at the plans and I said I already saw a mistake. This was a mistake I was talking about. I had this bottom going all the way out to the edge of the trim. Well, that won't work because the door is inset and flush with the trim. So I've got to leave a 3/4 inch gap here. So I had to shorten this bottom. So what that leads to, one thing leads to another. Since this bottom is short, there's nothing to attach the legs to here. Let me show you how I solved that problem. To solve that problem, I simply attached the leg to a cleat, and that cleat has a 10-degree angle on that far side. So I attached the cleat and then attached the leg to it, and then I can just continue around. So let's do this first leg here. First thing to make these legs is you take your wood and cut it into whatever this is called, a rhombus, where the two angles are the same at both ends, both sides. So over here on the saw, I got this cleat with that same 10-degree angle right here. Now I put that in my saw. If I find the angle. Okay, now I can put my board right up against it. Here's the end view. You can see that my board is flush with the deck of my saw. So here on the back of the saw, you can see down in here is that 10-degree cleat. It's taking up the space between the fence and the board. And then I got this clamp here to hold everything together, because when you're doing these angle cuts, the best thing that could happen, if it slips, you just make a bad cut, or it just could go completely south on you. So you got to be careful. So essentially what we're doing here is we're making a compound cut, but we're only making one, the saw is cutting through at 90 degrees, but the board itself is tilted back 10 degrees. So that makes this a compound angle. Now in the back of the board I have this line. That's where I want to walk my cut into. Let me show you where I got that line. Here's a screw up. I actually rounded over this edge here, and it shouldn't be rounded over. So this board goes in there like this, and I got that line. I want that corner right there to come right down to the very edge of this side here. So essentially what I'm doing here is walking it in and then checking the other side of the board to see how close I am. So I have to take this board off. I can see I got to go about another 3/4 of an inch. I process these things one at a time because I kind of Otherwise it gets boring. Guys, this is going to have to do it for Memphis Monday 345. Tried to get them done in one episode, but it's just not working out. We still got to make some decorative doors. We've got to make the top. We got some new kind of hardware we've never used before. They got to be sanded. One of them's got to be primed and painted. The other's got to be stained and varnished. So we got a lot to do, and we're just not going to get it done in one episode. But we made a pretty good dent in it. We got the cases done and we got the legs on. We figured out how we're going to do everything. We just got to do it now. So that'll do it for Memphis Monday 345. Well, as embarrassing as it might be, this turned out to be a one of two. I couldn't get it done in one episode. Well, I could have, but then I had left out so much that it wouldn't have been worth it. I'm going to be making some decorative doors. I've got some new kind of hardware that we've never used before. We got to make the lids that go on top. Both trash cans have to be finished, and we're using a different finish on both of them. So we got a lot to do, and we don't have enough episodes left to get her done. So we're gonna have to finish her up next week. So thanks for watching. Like, favorite, and share, and all the stuff you do. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.